What does the term witch doctor bring up in your imagination? Is it like someone in a tribal society who was the healer, maybe the spiritual teacher, and maybe they had some outlandish ways of curing things using herbs and oils and so on? That's what I think of when I think of witch doctor. And what do you think of when you think of the term witch? Had you asked me that about 4 years ago, I would have thought of the Wizard of Oz, the Wicked Witch of the West. I would have thought of an old lady who was evil and so on, right? How did the word like witch doctor went from like the local tribal healer turn into something that was evil and scary? Well, it was a big marketing ploy by the church, believe it or not. Let me tell you a little bit of story, okay? The word witch is a Germanic word, and some believe that it actually evolved from Sanskrit. Now, Sanskrit isn't a Germanic language, but they are both Indo-European languages, and many Indo-European languages have similar roots. And within Sanskrit, the word Ayurveda means the science of life. It goes back to the term the Vedas. The Vedas means truth. There was actually scriptures, ancient scriptures called the Vedas. So Ayurveda means the science of truth. It's the idea of using herbs, oils, food, movement, so on, as medicine. So many believe actually that the W-I-T that you see in witch actually started out as the V-E-D in Veda. Believe it or not, who knows? There's a lot of room for interpretation. But if that is the case, it makes sense where the term witch doctor comes from, because those people who are acting as witch doctors and healers in their communities were the ones who were tapped in to nature, the ones who knew how to use oils, herbs, food, and so on to help heal. They knew the proper combinations, they knew the proper incantations or words or prayers, whatever you want to use, to help create the alchemy, the magic, the combination to bring healing to their people. Actually, midwives were some of the original healers, doctors in that regard, inside the red tent, helping to bring ease to the women during childbirth. Could even help terminate a pregnancy because of their usage of herbs in case it was going to help save the mother if it was a dangerous pregnancy. And believe it or not, when universities first came about, they were actually controlled by the church. A university's curriculum had to be approved by a priest before it could be taught. And everything that is now currently science was once considered magic. And unfortunately, back in those days, anything that people didn't understand or that wasn't actually explained in the Bible, it was assumed to be magic. And back then, and still to this day, what humans don't understand, we fear. And because we didn't understand how nature worked, that seemed like magic, it was something to be feared. And within the evolution of the church, anything that couldn't be explained in this regard was assumed to be the workings of the devil. The churches then created laws, because back then the church pretty much was the law. They created laws that doctors could not practice without a license. Well, you had to be graduated from the university to get a license, and simultaneously only upper class men were allowed to go into the universities. So none of the women were learning how to become doctors, mind you. And then once they graduated, each doctor had to work side by side with a priest for the priest to counsel them to keep them from ever doing anything that went against the church within their practice. And slowly, these graduating doctors started to see women's bodies as something to be monopolized, because having babies could become a regular business. And up until this point, the only people who knew the secrets of the women's bodies were the people who went into the red tent. It was the women and the midwives who knew all the secrets of the body. And it just so happens that right around the same time where men were wanting to start creating this business around the women's bodies, right about then, there were certain laws that were being made in the church that demonized, outlawed witchcraft. Witches at that point were then put on the same level as devil worshippers. Actually, they believed that witches made a pact with the devil. And in order to put all of these midwives and healers out of business, they started hunting them down and killing them. And that's when the demonization of witches truly began, right around that time. An entire book was created called Hammer of the Witches that was made to help one determine and decipher if someone was a witch. And this included all sorts of different torture tactics that are still used today by our military during times of war. And during this time, actually, the gender side began. So they started using witchcraft as a means to hunt down and kill witches. It wasn't until the middle of the 1900s that actually that law got revoked. What did they think a witch was known for? She was known for her usage of the elements to be able to use to affect nature for positive and negative, and she was known for her sexual prowess over men. So witches were blamed for all sorts of things, for making guys go crazy with lust, and burning and torturing women for their sexual power was a really, really great way to help women start acting small. And because they were going door to door looking for your local neighborhood witch, and if you didn't turn someone in, you were suspected to be a witch. So that's when women started to turn against each other. That's when women started to not trust each other. And that same mistrust can still be felt today. But ladies, I'm here to tell you, it's not real. So if you have ever had this weird underlying feeling of feeling like you're afraid to truly stand in your light and stand in your power, it's not made up bullshit. There's been a marketing plan going against powerful women for years. And we're just waking up to the bullshit of it all. That it was a big fucking lie. Women in their power are not in bed with the devil. Women in their power help save this planet. Don't be afraid to be who you are. Don't be afraid to speak your truth. We need you in your power. It's time for you to wake up.